This is going to be a beautiful video, and I'm really excited about it. Last night, I watched this conversation between Tucker Carlson and Nicole Shanahon, and I thought it was so beautiful. And that, in fact, I thought there were three key moments that I just wanted to share with you guys because I wanted to have just a really wholesome and joyful conversation with everyone. Because I think for the most part, much of the community here appreciates that kind of conversation. And whenever I was watching this, again, yesterday we had this video about, Make America Healthy Again. And also speaking of that, yesterday we talked about it because, Nicole Shanahan just released some new hats. They're available to buy on her website. And I love them so much. And I spent some time talking about it yesterday. And real quick, I just want to say thank you so much to this comment right here. Karen Dow, she sent $50 and she said, I'm sending you money to buy the hat. No pressure. I appreciate what you do so much. I'm going to get one too. I thought this was so kind. Karen, you did not have to do that at all. But I am so grateful that you did. And I bought the hat. I'm so excited for it to come in. I went with the red one just because it's a bit iconic. I wasn't sure how often I would wear the purple hat. I don't wear purple much. But thank you so much, Karen. That is genuinely so kind. But in this conversation about making America healthy again, and I was just thinking about the joy and the wholesomeness that we were actually seeing in the comment section on my last video and also the previous videos. And I was just thinking about this today. Like, why aren't we having more joyful conversations? Why aren't we creating more spaces online where we could actually just have more positive content, especially in the context of politics? So what I wanted to do in this video is I wanted to create that space here. And just right now, before right whenever I hit record, I had this thought of make America happy again. It's kind of my own little maha, but I like it. Why can't we do this? And why can't this video kind of be an expression of that, where it's just joyful? It's just full of happiness. So we're going to talk about beautiful moments in this video, and let's get into it. Also, if this is a place where you consume content and you enjoy and you like the conversations we have here, please, I encourage you to like this video, subscribe it, turn on your notifications. It means so much to me and it really pushes these conversations forward. So thank you so much. Let's get into it. Check this out.
So what I think is so cool and interesting about your story and your honesty is that, at a time when people feel in their gut that something is not right with the leadership of the country, you actually can say, I've sort of been there. I've been around a lot of the people who are making these decisions. So I'd just be really interested in taking a minute to hear your story. What convinced you that you should change your mind on some things? Like, how did you get here?
Yeah, I'm from Oakland. I'm from Oakland, California. And I spent my life thinking that Democrats were good people and Republicans were bad people. It's what was taught to me in the school system. And, I went out to Crossfire as a teenager. I was always interested in politics. I went
Crossfire,
out.
the fabled CNN program hosted by a very handsome man in a bow tie?
Right. And I almost wore a bow tie tonight in celebration. But I was out there to see James Carville debate you. And I have to tell you, the programming is so strong on the left. They earnestly believe what's being sold to them right now. And I came to this, I made that Trump derangement syndrome ad for me. Yeah. I made it for me. And I made it for all the people I know who are suffering from the lies the media is telling them.
Wow. She made the TDS video, which if you guys haven't seen it, it is iconic. On her post, it has 5.7 million views alone, and it continued to get like millions and millions of views across other people's posts. Like this was from George, and he wrote, "Breaking the RFK Jr. campaign just released one of the most beautiful Trump ads ever." It starts with a question to the voters asking, "Are you or your loved ones suffering from illnesses such as TDS, also known as Trump derangement syndrome?" He said it's hilarious and perfect. And what I love about this video is I think it really opens up the conversation about how people have just been lied to from the media, and how she genuinely was able to change her mind. She was from the left. She grew up in California. So did I. Like, you grow up with these liberal values that it's not that they're inherently bad. It's just that whenever you go into policies, sometimes they aren't they don't carry as much substance, and the values begin to be muted, which is unfortunate. So I'm so happy to see this conversation with Nicole Shanahan actually discuss openly that she changed her mind about President Trump, and she changed her mind about the Democratic Party. And I just love that so much. And every time I think about like changing your mind, I often refer to this verse in Romans 12, and I love it so much. And I think it actually shares the shares the capacity of someone's resilience of their mind, right? So this is the second verse. It says, "Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but like God, transform you into a new person by what? By changing the way you think." I love that so much. And I think even people who aren't very faith oriented, I think at the end of the day you could find value in knowing that people could change their mind, and the person that you once were is not an indication of the person that you need to be moving forward. You can change your mind. So I love that so much, and that's one of the key takeaways that I had from that little portion of the video. And I'll move forward just a little bit into the second clip that I wanted to share. Check this out.
I was slowly being labeled anti-science as a result of that. And then the pandemic hit, and like many of us, the science didn't check out, didn't reconcile. So I met Bobby Kennedy, and he bravely left the Democratic Party. Something that is really hard. It's really hard for a lot of us to do. In his case, it was literally part of his genetics. In my case, it was my upbringing and my programming, how I was raised. And so leaving the Democratic Party to run as a third party seemed like a healthy thing to do. I wasn't becoming Republican, right? Because God forbid. But no, but that experience is when I realized how bad things are in this country. Republicans have outraised, in terms of fundraising, Democrats by about 4-1. But they don't spend any of that money taking out third-party candidates. Democrats do. The amount of money they spend on undermining the things that make democracy democracy, they do it in ways that I could have never imagined. And I will tell you, they hide it very well from the Democratic Party base. And I feel that it is upon us to really tell the Democratic base what is going on. They're not bad people, but they are being told lies. They're being told lies, and they want to separate us, and it's not right.
Wow. So right there, if we just break down this moment, for one, we see Nicole Shanahan actually shed some light into how the Democratic elites just did such a great job of censoring the Kennedy and Shanahan campaign. But even then, she actually made a great point, and she wanted to expose that nerve onto the Democratic base, onto the majority of liberal voters. And she got a huge round, it was an eruption of applause from the audience. Okay. It was a great moment. But did you see what happened there? I'm gonna bring it back just a second, just a few seconds ago.
Party base, and I feel that it is upon us to really tell the Democratic base what is going on.
Boom. Right now, in this moment, she completely won over the audience. A bunch of conservatives in the room, a bunch of people who've maybe voted Republican their entire life, and they're just so excited and amped up, like, yes, let's expose the Democratic Party. Let's do it. That sounds great. But right now, I think Nicole Shanahan saw what she did in the audience, and she decided to take a brief moment to add a note and to uplift the Democratic base. And I think that took a lot of courage. She didn't need to do that. She was under no obligation to do that. But instead, out of respect for the audience, she actually chose to elevate the quality of conversation that they were having by saying this.
They're not bad people, but they are being told lies.
Wow. They're not bad people, but they are being told lies. And I think what we do whenever we're having these conversations, in these political conversations, we almost tend to dehumanize the other side. We're like, oh, well, you know what? I'm a Republican. You're a Democrat. Like, I'm now gonna almost see you less just because we have different ideological views. We have different perspectives. We have different worldviews. We come from two different spaces. So I'm actually going to see you less. And maybe we won't say those things, but we think those things. So what I love about this moment is Nicole Shanahan just took a brief note to say they are not bad people, but they're being told lies. She humanized the people who have pretty much been the center villains of their campaign. And the strength and respect that takes is monumental to me. And I thought that was so beautiful because she called out the dishonesty. She demanded transparency, and she still chose to elevate the conversation. And I thought that was so beautiful. So the last thing that I wanted to share, let's see, it was at 44:19. Check this out.
I agree with that. How do you think this ends, this period, this season, and are you hopeful?
I'm hopeful because of you, and I'm hopeful because I believe God is here. He's here. And I believe that this country wants to heal right now more than anything. And I believe that we can unite. I believe also that Donald Trump, minus some of his imperfections, is a guy who wants to take us along with him. So.
Nicole Shanahon, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Wow. How beautiful was that? She said she believes God is here. And she even elevated President Trump while still being in some disagreement with some of his past. And she just chose to actually be part of this moment of togetherness. And she's saying, you know what, even if I don't, trust like this person wholeheartedly with my entire life, I trust the team. And you know what, just right now, as I watched that, I was reminded of this moment between, I believe, Brett Weinstein and Joe Rogan. And they were talking about the endorsement of RFK Jr. with Trump. And Brett Weinstein said that now he's actually way more considerate of voting for President Trump because of this partnership with RF Kennedy Jr. Why? Because now he knows that his values are going to be reflected in the Trump administration. Check it out. I think I saw it in this video here. Check this out. I just brought this up.
Development in the 2024 presidential race, the son of Democratic icon Robert Kennedy suspending his independent campaign and endorsing Republican nominee Donald Trump.
But Harris is saying, this is no big deal. That's not true. The numbers speak for themselves.
I think this is going to get the independents. This is going to get the libertarians. This is going to get some of the center left guys And even more than anything else, the timing of it was monumental. Why? Because it's a day after the DNC had their event. They're all excited. They're all ecstatic. They're all saying all the stuff that they're saying.
There is no conceivable scenario in which I would vote for Kamala Harris. I just simply will not do it. Am I open to voting for Trump? I am. I'm especially open to it if he is partnered with Bobby Kennedy, because what that tells me is that my values, which are a much closer match for Bobby's, are represented in that administration. And that's really what I want.
Wow. Wow. How beautiful was that? Jeez, that almost made me break a tear right now. Like, how could I just say this? I wasn't planning on saying this. I wasn't planning on saying most of this, but how could you not just get emotional about this? How could you not? Isn't this not so romantic? I think this is such a beautiful moment. It's a unity between parties that at one point the media was saying they couldn't be further apart. But now look at that handshake. Look at this embracement, not just of them, but of independents and Republicans. And I just love that so, so much. And I think that was a great way to kind of end this video in. This is such a weird video. I don't think I've ever made a video like this where we just talk about kind of some positive things, and maybe I'll do it more in the future. Let me know what you thought about it. But I had this idea of just so desperately wanting to create a space on the internet where we could talk about some of the more positive things that are happening, because there's already great people out there who cover kind of a lot of the drama, the scandals, the news that breaks out. And all those people are great. And sometimes I am, part of that. But I also think it's important to create a space where we could just talk about the positive things that are happening here. And I loved, and then that to me was the focus of today. Maybe we could call these episodes or these segments just like positive politics or something like that. But I really loved it. I enjoyed this conversation, and let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you think about pretty much those three key moments that we saw with Nicole Shanahon, from her changing her mind, from her elevating the conversation with the audience, saying they're not bad people, but they are being told lies. And now to her saying like hope is going to endure because she believes that God is here. And you know what, even if you're someone who doesn't really, maybe you're not so faith oriented, I think the conversation here is still beautiful because it's so full of joy, it's so full of happiness and a hope, and you can just tell that it's at the center. And I don't know, I just love this unity. I get excited about this unity, and I just think it's beautiful. Anyways, let me know what you think about the conversation that we had today. Let me know if you want to see more of these maybe positive politics conversations here. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much to every single person who chooses to spend time with everyone here as we have these conversations, as we grapple with the future, and as we just break down these moments that happen day by day in the middle of this iconic, historic, monumental 2024 election. So thank you so much. I appreciate you all so much, and I hope you all have a great day. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate your time so much, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to support what we're building here, please like and subscribe. It means a lot and it really helps us out. And if you want to see even more content from me, make sure to follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be sharing a lot more on there. Thank you so much. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.